All right, we're going to go ahead and get started here. I'd like to welcome everyone to today's FAST-TRAK Training Lab. Today's session is brought to you by Collaborative Practice Solutions. Collaborative Practice Solutions offers on-site and remote guidance for your practice, and they also offer guidance through Meaningful Use, PQRS, MACRA, and MIPS. My name is Tony, and I'm the TRAKnet Client Trainer, and joining me today is Erica, who is one of our customer care representatives. In this webinar, we will be covering questions which you, as our clients, have when using TRAKnet. All of our users will be in listen-only mode, so please post all questions to the questions box on the webinar. I would also like that everyone check to verify they are on the current version of TRAKnet. I do apologize. The one on this slide is incorrect, so I will bring that up here in just a moment on TRAKnet. And then Erica, can you go ahead and start us off with our first question?
Absolutely. The first question that we have here is how do I import previous task messages?
All right, that's definitely a great question. With the last major update, we brought in a new task list for our clients. That new task list does not automatically carry over the tasks from the previous task list. So on the new task list, there is the all tasks, and because I've already brought in my tasks, we don't see it on here. Give me one moment. I have a screenshot. Here we go. Where you'll see on your task list, when you go to the all tasks, you're going to see a migrate previous tasks button. Clicking that migrate previous task button is going to give you a pop-up. That pop-up is going to advise you that it is not recommended for multiple users to perform the migrate tasks option. It'll cause you to have duplicate tasks in your system. Once the first person has completed it and everybody else goes to the all tasks, that migrate tasks button will be gone as it is on my screen. All right. Next
All right,
question.
perfect. The next question is how do I start a new task?
All right. A new task can be started a couple of different ways. A task, just a general task, can be started right from the task list. We can click this green plus button, and that's going to bring up our new task window. Now, when creating a new task, we have a few options. We do have to assign it to an individual, so we can pick the person that we'd like to assign it to, or we can use a select all, which will assign it to everyone. We can provide a subject, select a patient and encounter if we would like to have it assigned to them, and also select a task type. Tasks can also be started from a patient's chart. So if we go to a patient's chart, to our phone call or our no pending task, it's going to start the task right there. Now when starting it from the patient's chart, it is going to start it specific to that patient. So if you don't want it to be specific to that patient, you would need to hit the clear patient button. And then you can also start the task from the new task list link in an encounter. So if we are on an encounter, or if we want to add that task list link to our template, we can start an encounter right by clicking on that task list link. And that's going to bring us to the tasks. And we can, again, click the plus. That's going to start the task. And when doing it from the encounter, it's actually going to also incorporate that encounter right into that task automatically for you as well.
All right, perfect. The next question that I have here is can we create a task without a patient?
We certainly can. When going to the task list on the left-hand side, the tasks that are going to be created without a patient by default. You do not need to add a patient to that task. You can save that task once you're ready. So put in your information for the task, select your task type, click send, and it creates that task with no patient set to it.
All right, perfect. One question that just came in here, how do I record a phone call and save it to the chart without assigning it to someone?
We're not able to do so. Anytime you do create a task, it does require that you assign it to an individual. If you try to create the task and save it without an individual, it is going to advise you that you do need to have an individual assigned to. So there's not a way to create a task without assigning it to an individual.
Okay, thank you, Tony. And is there a way to create a new task type?
Yep, there definitely is. From our task list is going to be the best place to do that. You're going to see the Manage Tasks Type button. That's going to take you to the Manage Task Types window. Here you can modify your current tasks, delete current tasks, or add a new task. You can give it a default title. And then in the body here, this works very similar to creating a template for an encounter or for like your present illness or anything like that. It is a template that you're setting up where you can enter in items that you want to have on that task whenever that task is used. Once you click Save, it's going to create that new task, and when you go to create a new task, you'll have that new task in there.
All right, perfect. It looks like we have a question about billing here. When looking at the ledger, what does the blue versus the green mean for each line item?
Okay, it's a definite great question. The blue on the ledger and on encounters and payments, on the invoice of the encounter and on payments, is going to indicate an insurance responsible balance. So it's going to be a balance that has an insurance that's responsible for it. The green, I do apologize, I don't have any right now, but the green is going to be patient responsible. So if I had a balance here, this would be green. The black means that it has been paid up and cleared out, so there's no current balance. So that's why we have black here right now, is because there's no current balance. But blue will be insurance and green will be patient.
All right. And where do patient forms pull from?
Okay. Patient forms are going to pull from the template type patient forms. So when we go to Manage Templates, go down to our template type patient forms. It's going to pull from this template type. And this template type is a little bit different than other template types. This template type has a specific set of folders that already exist. When creating your patient form templates, you'll want to use one of these template types to be able to see them under patient forms. If the folder is given a different name than what's in this list, we won't be able to see them under patient forms. So when we go to patient forms, we're only going to see the items that we have a template in. Let's see which one is that. So we go to our patient visits folder, and then we'll see our templates that are in there. But you're only going to see them for those folders. If it's not placed in one of these folders, you won't be able to access it on patient forms.
All right. How to set up the specialized registries for use?
Okay. Currently, TrackNet only integrates with one specialized registry, and that's going to be the MedExpress. MedExpress is set up through our Tools, Options, and then Integration. You'll see a MedExpress line here. We need to hit the drop-down arrow, and we need to enter in our MedExpress account and MedExpress password. Once that's entered in, we can go over to Reports, Specialized Registry, select the MedExpress, and then if we have patients that qualify for that within the date range we're looking at, we can report. I don't think I have any patients that fit these ones. Yeah. So if we have patients that qualify, the upload button will be available when we have that MedExpress information in there to send over.
Okay, perfect. The next question I have here is how to remove an unapplied payment.
Okay, that's a great question. Unapplied payments are not able to be removed. So to remove a payment, we actually have to apply that payment to a charge. So for example, we have this patient here has a provider payment credit of $20. If we wanted to remove that payment, we would need to go to our billing dashboard. Since that is a provider payment, I'm going to look for only provider payments. I'll have to look this up to see. I'm going to look through our payments on here to see what the payment is. It's 2 provider payments. We would select the provider payment that we want to remove the payment. A reason always has to be given when removing a payment, and then the payment's been removed. So you can see here, we're down to $10 from removing that one payment.
All right. Thank you so much, Tony. The next question that I have here is, can you do a mass write-off by insurance?
A mass write-off by insurance or a mass write-off by incoming automatic payment?
Nope, it's saying by insurance. So for example, if they're going to be writing off all of the Medicare insurance, anyone who has Medicare, they're going to write off everything.
I'm not aware of any ways to do a write-off per an insurance.
Mm-hmm.
When doing a payment, such as a Medicare payment, there is a provider adjustment tab. When you're doing your payment, that provider adjustment tab is going to have a listing of what charges remain, and you can come over to this area and enter in your amounts that you're going to use for the provider adjustment and do the write-off right from that check.
All right. Thank you so much for that explanation there. How to mark a problem inactive is the next question.
All right. Marking problems inactive is going to be under the patient's problems and diagnoses. On that, to mark it inactive, we just simply select inactive on the line item that we want to make inactive, and that makes that problem inactive.
All right, easy enough for that. How to use the ink signature feature.
All right, I will have to add that to a template. So we will go through and add that to one of our templates here. And I will create a new encounter with that template. The ink signature is a link on an encounter, a referral document, anywhere where we can place a link. We click on that, and that provides us a drawing screen. With something like a mouse like I have, it's not going to be as easy to use. that you would draw in your signature is going to work a lot better for items that are like touchscreen, things like that. But you can see how it adds that image to the encounter. So it'll be the image of that signature.
All right, perfect. And that kind of goes into the next question. Can TrackNet be used on a tablet?
TrackNet can be used on any device that runs Windows 7 or better. So with a lot of tablets nowadays having Windows 8.1 or Windows 10 on them, TrackNet can run on those tablets. Unfortunately, if it does not have a Windows operating system of Windows 7 or better, TrackNet's not able to run on it.
All right. It looks like we have a meaningful use question here. How to complete objective number 9?
Okay, Objective 9 is not completed by the office. Objective 9 is the one objective where it requires an outside message coming in. So with Objective 9, after we've sent out our messages for Objective 8, one of those individuals who received that message from Objective 8 would need to respond back to the office. Once that response back is received, that's going to qualify us for 9. Now, once we have received that response back, we're going to want to import it into the patient's chart. This is done by selecting that email, and you'll be able to tell the difference between the email because you'll have new user at Direct Health Vault. You'll have TrackNet. In this case, this is a TrackNet email address where I had sent a message from a different TrackNet program. And then you'll have your name. Generally, it's going to be the person's first name and last name. In this case, that is the username that is used at Health Vault. We click our import message. Oh, there we go. It's going to take us over to our import message screen. If it sees a patient that already has that email address, it's automatically going to bring that patient up. If it does not, you'd have to search the patient. We select that message and click Import to Patient Chart. Now it is giving me this information because I've already imported this message previously. We can continue with that and import it anyways. Once we've imported our message, it is going to show on the Secure Messaging tab of the patient's chart.
Okay, perfect. The next question is in regards to does the import need to be done within a certain time in order for it to count or in order for it to record?
To my knowledge, there's no specific time frame that it needs to be done as long as it's done within the reporting period, because it is a just once within the reporting period for the measure. So it's not something where you have to have a response back within a certain period of time or anything to that effect. So the importing it to the patient's chart would just need to be done within that reporting period.
Okay, and the next is a request to go over meaningful use objective 5.
All right. Meaningful use objective 5 is outgoing referrals. And we want to make sure that we're doing our outgoing referrals electronically. So in TrackNet, objective 5 is completed from the patient's chart under referrals. Under referrals, we'll get up our referral window. If you have a template, you can load the referral note template. If you don't have one, you can type one. Once you have your referral set up, you would go over to Actions and send that referral electronically. Now, in order to send the referrals out electronically, you do have to have referring providers with a direct email address. If you do not, you won't be able to send them out of TRAKnet electronically. Once you've sent it over to your provider you're referring to, you're going to come over to the Referral Management tab and record that that was sent out. To do so, we click the Add button, enter in a referral date, an expected follow-up date, who the provider and the referring provider are, and then we want to identify that it is an outgoing referral, that we provided a summary, and that we did so electronically, and then save that. And that completes the requirements for objective number 5.
Okay, a second question with that. Can you attach an encounter to the referral as well with the referral letter?
The encounter is sent out automatically along with the referral letter. So when you send out that, it is sent out with the referral note. And I'll print a copy here. So you can see here, it sends a referral letter and a copy of our encounter. So it's sent automatically along with the referral letter.
Okay, perfect. Okay, next we have how to update the insurance payer ID.
Okay. Updating the insurance payer ID would be done on Properties. Under Insurances, you would want to search the insurance that you're going to be updating the payer ID on. Click the Modify button or double click on the name, and you can modify the payer ID from right there. And then that'll update the payer ID. I think in the instance of payer IDs, however, that it would be a better solution to add an additional insurance with a different payer ID. In the event that you're still receiving payments in from the previous payer ID, if you change the payer ID, what'll happen is your remits will no longer automatically post for that insurance, and you'll have to manually post all those. So in that case, it would probably be better to put in a new insurance with a new payer ID if the payer ID is going to change.
All right, thank you so much, Tony. Now, we just got a question in regards to the referral letters. Where does the referring provider's direct email get entered?
All right. Referring provider's direct email address is going to be entered in on the Properties Referring Provider screen. And then right on the referring provider, we want to click Modify. The direct email is a bottom item in the demographics list. It is important also to note that you need to have an NPI as well. The system is going to be looking for both a direct email and an NPI code on the referring providers. If either one's missing, it won't find that referring provider when it tries to send a direct message.
Okay, perfect. Let's see, the next question, how to organize the patient summary list?
The patient summary list.
Yes.
I do apologize. I'm not quite sure I understand what we're looking for on that.
Yeah, there isn't much. I can get some more information there and we can go back into that. Then another question that we have here is how to remove and recreate an encounter.
How to remove and recreate an encounter. Removing an encounter can be done a number of different ways. We can remove an encounter from the Progress Notes tab by just clicking the Remove button. Or we can go to All Encounters, select the encounter that we want to remove, and just click the Delete button. That'll remove it. Recreating the encounter would be just the same as just creating an encounter from the start. Once you've removed the encounter, the next encounter is going to be starting from scratch. So you would either be able to do so from the scheduler, which is definitely the recommended way. Start from an appointment. And click our Create Encounter here or here to start a new encounter, or from the patient chart with the New Encounter button. Do we have another question, Erica?
I'm sorry. Another question here is there a way to see what everyone is doing in TrackNet?
Okay.
I'm
Not sure I understand what they mean by that question.
Yeah, I was
That
going to
one,
say I'm not sure if that would mean in reference to the
it sounds like they might
audit
be talking
log
about
or
the, yeah, it sounds like they might be talking about the audit log. The audit log provides a logging of what has been performed as far as logins, when a person's logged in and out, as far as patients, what a person's done on the patient, whether or not they've changed information, access to patient, and then as far as prescriptions and refills. So those three sections will show that, what a person's done in those areas.
all right. How would we go about opening a referring provider direct email to us?
Okay, yep, we would do that through our inbox. So this here, this is an email sent over from another TrackNet, and it comes over, it works pretty much the same as a regular email. If you have files that are attached, which is how this one was sent out, you can view the files, download them, or import them to a patient's chart, and then you would be able to see whatever message was sent through that direct email. All right, looks like it's about time for us to wrap up here.
Okay, yeah, it doesn't look like we have any other questions to come in as of now. Any last questions? We have about a minute left.
All right. Looks like we'll need to go ahead and wrap up here. My screen seems to have decided to go crazy on me. I apologize. All right, on the screen we have our training labs, our YouTube page, and our wiki page. Those resources are available to everyone. And thank you everyone for joining us today. Have a wonderful day.